Okay, in this video I'm going to show how to convert a 3ds Max biped skeleton to work with bullet physics Ragdoll for FPS Creator Reloaded. Here's our character rigged to the regular 3ds Max biped. First thing I'm going to do is grab the character mesh, and in the skin modifier I'm going to save out the skin weights for use later. So just go under Advanced Parameters, click on Save, and just save out the skin weights to a file, and do this for any LODs you're using as well. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is hide the character mesh for now and grab all our biped skeleton parts. You don't need the dummies, but you do need the root BIP01. So just grab all these, and then we're going to make a copy of that by going to Tools, Snapshot, using these settings here, then click OK. We've just made a copy. It doesn't look like it's done anything because it's just the copy is sitting right on top of the original biped. So let's hide the original biped, and here we have all our new duplicate biped parts. I'm going to put these on a new layer just to keep things nice and organized, and call this Ragdoll biped. Okay, and the next thing to do is grab all these new biped parts, right click and go to Object Properties and uncheck Renderable, just so these act as bones and they don't show up as visible when our character is exported. Okay, next step is to grab all these new biped parts we just created and rename them to be identical to the original biped skeleton parts. You'll see in a lot of cases when we made a copy of these, it added a 001 onto the end and changed the numbers on some of these. So just go ahead and rename each biped part to be identical to the original biped. I'm not going to do that in the video because you don't need to see me do that for 25 different biped parts. So I'm going to pause the video and skip ahead to a new file. Okay, at this point I have a duplicate biped skeleton that I've renamed all the parts to be identical to the original biped skeleton as I described a second ago. The next step is to grab all your new biped parts, and we need to temporarily unlink these from each other. So select everything and click on this button here, Unlink Selection. That way everything now rotates on its own. There's no type of hierarchy. Okay, next step is to once again grab all the biped parts, go to your hierarchy panel, click on Effect Pivot Only, and then click on Align to World. This centers out the rotation for all the biped parts to be 000, which is what Bullet Physics wants. Okay, now the next step is to relink all these biped parts into the original hierarchy. This only takes a second. It's really easy. Just click on Select and Link, and I'm going to start with the leg. Link the toe to the foot, foot to the calf, calf to the thigh, thigh to the pelvis. Do the same thing for the other leg. I'm not going to do that here, but you can do that. Go onto the arm, link the finger to the hand, hand to the forearm, forearm to the upper arm to the clavicle, and then clavicle to the upper spine. Again, do that for the other side, the other arm here. Then we're going to move on to the spine all the way up to the head. So lower spine to the pelvis, middle spine to the lower spine, upper spine to the mid spine, neck to the upper spine, and head to the neck. And then finally, as the last step, we need to link the pelvis to the root BIP01. So go into wireframe mode, select your pelvis, and link that to the biped root. Okay? Now everything is relinked until its original hierarchy. I didn't do the other side here, but you see that everything is now linked. The legs are all linked together. Okay, now I'm going to pause the video and skip ahead to another file that has both sides all linked together. Okay, I've opened a new file here that has both sides of the skeleton relinked until its original hierarchy. And now the final step of this process is going to be to transfer the animation from the original biped source onto this new Ragdoll biped that we've created here. And I'll mention right now, this is a really good time to save this file out, because if you ever need to change the animation and go back to this point, you don't have to repeat all those steps we've just done. You have a skeleton ready to hold that animation. Okay, so how do we get the animation from the biped source to the Ragdoll biped? The easiest way I found to do this is, instead of screwing around with constraints and all kinds of complicated things like that, is to get a free script from ScriptSpot called Sticky Lock, which I'm showing here. Just download this and install it to max. It's free. I've got a shortcut here up on my toolbar to bring it up easily. What this allows you to do is select a source object and a destination object, and it will transfer that animation from the source to the destination. So we're going to go ahead and do that for each of the biped bones. This doesn't take very long. It's about a 5-minute process at most, probably not even that. So I'll show you the order we need to do this. Another thing I'm going to do right now is, on our biped source, in order to distinguish this easily from our new Ragdoll biped, I'm going to rename the biped source to something more distinguishable. So just select the source biped 01, go over to this modes and display, and I'm just going to rename this BIP01 source. Okay. Now we're going to open Sticky Lock, and the first bone we're going to transfer the animation from is the source BIP01 root. So the first thing here, this first button, select object, that's our destination object. Click that and then select your new Ragdoll biped root, and the parent is going to be the source biped root. So click on that and then select BIP01 source, and then click on bake. And then if I scrub the timeline here, you'll see that the root biped is following the original source biped. None of the other limbs are right now, but the root is. We're going to get to the limbs later. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's do the pelvis. So click on this button again, select your new biped pelvis. Click here and select your source biped pelvis, and then click on bake. Alright, now what you're going to do is just go down each of the limbs. Start with the thigh, bake that. Go down to the calf, bake that. The foot, bake that. Do the other leg, then start at the spine. Start at the lower spine, bake that. Mid spine, upper spine, neck to the head. And then start at one of the clavicles and work your way outward, and then do the other one. Once you're done, I'm going to open the new file here. I'm just going to skip ahead because you don't need to see me do this for each of the bones. Okay, I've opened a new file here, and at this point what I've done is I've baked, using Sticky Lock, every one of the bones. I've baked the animation from the source biped to our new Ragdoll biped, and here it is completed. You see all the animation has now been transferred to our new Ragdoll biped. And then the final step is we need to skin our character mesh to this new biped. And this is really easy. All we need to do is select our original character mesh and make a copy of it. Okay, and I'm going to add this on a new layer, and I'm just going to call this Ragdoll Mesh. And I'm going to get rid of this original skin modifier and clear that out, and add a new fresh skin modifier on it, and we're going to add all our brand new Ragdoll biped bones. Select all those. And then now we can go down to advanced parameters and load in our skin weights that we saved earlier. So select your skin weight file, open it up, and all our bone names, since we've renamed them to be the same, are going to match up perfectly. Just select OK. And now we have a finished character mesh skin to our new Ragdoll biped, and that is ready for export. The only thing I left out here is we'll have to relink the fire spot limb from the biped source, link it to the right hand of our new Ragdoll biped, and that's it. This whole process, 10 minutes at most, and you have all your you have a new character mesh skin to biped that will work with bullet physics Ragdoll. So the final step would just be to grab your character mesh, the Ragdoll biped, and export everything, and you should be done. Okay, hope this was all clear and hope this helps.